Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight's the season finale, 2 hours, double points, and all kinds of drama on tap here for the CSRL GT Series. And we are here at the Mount Panorama, Bathurst. It's got just about anything and everything that you want. It's got a scary mountain section. It's got fast straightaways, 90-degree corners, definitely passing opportunities once you're outside of the mountain. But through the mountain, it is follow the leader and hopefully nobody wrecks in front of you, because it could be a traffic jam. And if you're one of the two drivers competing for that Platinum Division Championship, it is, actually, yeah, the Platinum Division Championship, it is, it's going to be a little, maybe a little sketchy here for the first couple laps. We'll see how it plays out. Carl Lambert joined the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, 2 hours here tonight, and not exactly an easy track to get around here for 2 hours.
No, I have my fair share around this track, and 2 hours is a good long time in the car, and to be laser focused for that amount of time at a track like Bathurst, there's a reason they call it hell. Well,
we're going to talk to a few of the drivers that went through hell this season and already locked in their championship, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our season champions here for both the silver and the gold division, and have a chat with them a little bit. Silver division champion William Burrell, we'll talk to you first. William, obviously a pretty good season for you. You definitely had some back and forths with John Espada. Todd Torville never kind of really got it going this season, so you end up walking away with this title this season.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. It's been tough though. Like I said, I've done well in some races, and then other races not so good. But I think I've told you guys this before. Just trying to be consistent is my game, and that's going to apply tonight as well. You know, I'm going to run my own race, try to stay out of everybody's way, and I'm fearful of the turn 1, turn 2 accident.
So, Kyle, you've obviously had a fantastic season up to this point, and really dominating in the gold. We talked to you many times, but you know, you lock up the championship probably even by last week already. But here you come tonight, and kind of just let your hair down type of moment. You can kind of go out there, have fun, and not have to worry about Bathurst killing your title chances.
Yeah, you know, just go out, have fun, cruise it. And, you know, I love the endurance aspect of the 2 hour race. So, I mean, that's it's the biggest part of why I'm here. I also love racing, so, you know, whatever. But the 2 hour race makes it a little more exciting, for me at least.
Absolutely will. We'll see how you fare out there. Well, before we let you guys go, Kyle, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to for the season?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Frank Pisano's got to be the guy, because he got me into this, so I appreciate him for the most for this league. And then Noah for getting me faster, and the wife and kid as always.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck out there. William, before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, my mom, Chris, she does a lot of sponsorship for the league. Sandy, her friend, and my wife. And as always, Craig and Jim Dutton for helping me out. And always a shout out for Simcraft. They build an incredible rig.
All right, boys. Well, we'll let you go, get to it, and wish you luck out there. Hopefully you survive for these 2 hours.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That is the Bronze Division Champion William Burrell and the number 21, and Kyle Kobler and the number 97, your Gold Division Champion here for the season. Trying to take a look and see where these guys are lined up, because we don't want to pull the drivers in here for too long here. Yeah, it looks like we do got our 2 championship contenders here for the Platinum Division, and I mean, guys, you've kind of brought it right down here to the end. I know, Craig, you come in here with a 20-point lead in the championship. Certainly exactly where you want to be. You got a nice little cushion, and you just maybe need to survive at Bathurst a little bit, or are you going to fight with a little, you know, chip on your shoulder and want to try and go out here on the top?
Yeah, we're going to see what the cars play like here after a lap and seeing what cold tires is all about here. I don't want to steal too much of everyone's limelight here, because we got a short pace lap in 10 seconds, so we're moving. So yeah. Good luck, Noah. Been an awesome competitor all season, and yeah, he got the pole points here, which are doubled. I got the second place points with the doubled, so a little closer than 20 points, but still feeling pretty good overall about our chances.
All right, Noah, real quick, we'll get to you before you guys pace off here.
I'm gonna win or wreck trying. You can guarantee that. I'm gonna not go down without a fight.
All right, boys. Well, we'll let you get to it. I know you're pacing. Good luck out there. Survive hell. Survive the first trip through the mountain. At least give us a good show.
Absolutely.
We'll do things, boys.
That is your Platinum Division drivers going for the championship. The 88 of Craig Jancic, the 5 of Noah Bourgeois. Jimmy, we're ready to get this thing going. I'm going to hop down, get these guys in the room that they want to be in, and we'll get this thing underway. But it's coming out of the last little section, a short little trip, and then we get the green flag. Actually, looks like they're already gone by themselves. So look at that. These guys know what they're doing. Well, it's time. Exactly. Big boys, big brain, and we're ready to get this thing underway. We'll clear out the race info, and we are out of the final corner and waiting for that first green flag here tonight. The only green flag tonight. We are racing at Mt Panorama, heading into Hell Corner for the first time. How hard will these championship drivers battle? Still side by side. Jancic holds it outside line. Some wrecking down or back behind them, down into the wall, and Jancic trying to hold that right side to get the inside into turn number 2. It could be very big, and you see already Noah bumping and banging. He does not want to give up this position because this could end up being his championship. They go side by side, and he's going to have to back out. Jancic takes the lead the first time in the mountain.
Yeah, pushing it hard. Craig's always been one to be pretty good at getting the jump. No matter where he starts. If he's starting back in 3rd, 4th, I think as far as back as 5th, I've seen him come away out of the first few turns in front or in the front. So Noah Bourgeois now on a defensive track here, but obviously over the mountain, knowing that Chris is fast. Craig is fast, and he's gonna have to chase him down here pretty much all evening. But don't want to put him in a spot. Tires can play quite an important role here, Carl. And if you don't get them up to speed properly and you kind of abuse them early on, it could spell a little disastrous later on for who does, especially this corner here. And we got it pretty much nicknamed Covert's Corner because when I first started racing here 4 years ago, yeah, I hit that corner every single time on my way down the mountain.
Well, no manufacturer difference here tonight. Both of our platinum contenders in the Aston Martin for this race. 3rd place right now, Bryce Reiner in the Ferrari, then another Aston Martin with Justin Flagg in 4th. Jason Phillips back there in 5th. He is in the Ford. We got BMW out there. We got McLaren, Porsche, Mercedes, Audi. It looks like not having the Lamborghini out there tonight, but a lot of manufacturers represented. But really, this is going to be where the battle is going to be watching all night.
Yeah, I mean, the eyes are going to be on these two up front all evening, and, it's just kind of see what they can do. And we're going to have to go back and force ourselves to see who's doing what back there, because the battle continues all over the place. It's even kind of looking back, the driver's starting to get kind of stretched out just a little bit, and the mountain will do that too. You can see some damage back there. I believe that is on, is that Bill Burke? No, it's not Bill Burrell. Who's that? Is that Jim? Yeah, Jim Herrick's machine. Missing a bumper.
We'll take a look back and see what happened at a Hell Corner the first time here, and it was I believe Frank Bassano. This was up ahead.
I think it was Christopher Reagan.
Yep, there we go. Just got a little bit wide. Came across a track and heavy impact there onto the outside, and looks like collected Frank Bassano, unfortunately, in that incident. But Reagan ended up towing it back to the pits. Bassano continued on until he had, looks like maybe a little bit of a moment himself. Ended up crashing and towing back to the pits as right there, as he looped it and decided the car was not exactly handling too well. Well, we'll get you back to some of the battles out here. We got Brandon Potts trying to hold off Cesar Cooling towards the scene. Battling all the way down into turn number 2. Potts still holding that advantage as we come out of Cobra Corner, also known as Forest Elbow. We travel down the backstretch here. It's really a beautiful track. It's picturesque, certainly. I believe it's gotten a little bit of a refresh and update here as well in this last update. But again, just a fantastic little track here. It's not for the faint of heart, as we've mentioned multiple times here, that the mountain section is a glorified cattle chute. I mean, can you fit too wide? Can you drive too wide through there? Can you make passes? You gotta have some cojones. We'll just put it that way, because it is very tight.
In a lot of cases, but not a very popular decision. I think some of the worst feelings at this track are up over the mountain. Obviously, the start is always very sketchy here for the 12-hour events, and when you're up there and somebody decides that you're closing in on them too fast, and they let you go, and then they put you off the optimal line, driving possibly off into the kitty litter up there, and if you hit that wrong, you can go flying and destroy your car. So there is a lot of trust in knowing how to get up and over this hill, and I think I forced myself, Carl, when learning this track, how to drive those off lines. Not the preferred line, not the race line, the line that nobody wants to be on. And if you can learn how to drive those, at least know how your car is going to handle, how slow you need to be, how fast you need to be, when you need to get on throttle. It can benefit big time when it comes to need a wreck avoidance up at the top, or even you get that person that just lets you go. But most of the time it's blinders on, follow the bumper in front of you, even if they're slower. As soon as you go around Covert's corner, hopefully you set the turn up so you can make the pass down the long stretch here. But Brandon Potts got some damage on his car right there on the front left side, so it does look like Cesar Colon Torres is going to go ahead and pull off to his left and have the advantage here. Got a little more speed here coming down into those corners, so that pass is going to be made back there for 11th. Things up front are pretty stretched out, but Craig Jancic obviously still being followed closely by Noah Bourgeois by 2/10, but I'm sure they're trying to stretch it out. Noah's, I'm sure, content with drafting and just putting some pressure on Craig right now, see if he can make that mistake, and hopefully they don't both get involved.
Late move. Thought about it there into Griffin's Bend, but decides not to, as I don't know, as much as I'd say, yeah, maybe Bourgeois is content here just drafting and maybe picking up some good fuel mileage here. I feel like that the way that Craig Jancic can bingo his pit stops time and time again, he's got to get out front. He certainly doesn't want to damage the car, like he brushed the wall there a little bit. He's got to get in front of Jancic. I think he's got to try and get in front. If he can break away, great, but if not, at least he's got a slight advantage just going into the pits. Yeah, he may be giving Craig a tow, maybe giving him some fuel mileage, but if I'm on the pit box here for the 5, I'm telling him push. I'm telling him push, get in front of that 88, figure out what you got to do, get out front, try and dictate this pace. If you want to back it off, if you want to try and save a little bit of fuel being out front, that's fine, but get out front, get in front of this 88, give yourself a chance at this championship, because as we mentioned, 20 points. It seems like a big, significant gap in between first and second, and it's certainly a better position to be in if you can, but it's really only a couple positions, because the difference between first and second normally is 5 points, but it's doubled here tonight, and it's not just the positions that are doubled, it is everything that is doubled, including the bonus points, and contact between the 5 and the 88 is going to send Bourgeois spinning around. He gets it collected back going here, but he is dropped back to 5th position now, and just like that, title hopes are going to be a little bit harder to grab for the 5 of Bourgeois.
Yeah, just taking a quick look around Bourgeois' car, it looks like no damage done there at all. So just a kind of, obviously shoulder racing, went for the inside move coming down the mountain. Didn't quite get it. They put the elbows out just a little bit, ended up getting touched and setting Noah around, so he's gonna have some work ahead of him now to catch up to Craig Jancic, as Craig Jancic is about 10 seconds ahead of him now, and obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 cars in between him and Craig, so a lot of work to do by Noah. Can he do it? He has the talent and the ability to. Obviously just getting a little bit aggressive there, trying to get that move, like you said, trying to get things done early to give Craig a run for his money. But now Craig out front with his teammate behind him. Carl, how much pressure does he really have?
Well, right now, Reiner's got pressure himself as Justin Flagg all over the backside of him heading into Skyline right now. And there's the thing, Jimmy, like, the mountain is tough enough. If the mountain was flat, if it wasn't a mountain, and it was just a section of track that is tight, it'd be tough enough. But it is anything but flat. I mean, from Griffin's Bend all the way up to Skyline, and then all the way down through the Dipper, down to Forest Elbow, it is just an undulating, up and down, just... It rings you through. I mean, it is not easy at all. Again, if it was flat, it'd be one thing, and it would still be tough, but it is definitely not flat here tonight. It looks like some bump drafting down the backstretch here, heading to the chase, as Justin Flagg pushing Bryce Reiner, who is pulling out here a little bit, so I'm not sure how much Flagg wants to push him. He's going to back off here a little bit, heading into the chase and the S-turn here, and then down into Murray's corner, but out front, it is Greg Jancic now out to a 2.8 second lead over Reiner. Flagg in third. Justin Phillips, Noah Bourgeois for your top five. Herbert Pineda is your leader in the gold class. And I wonder what could have been for Pineda. He certainly showed a lot of speed at a lot of tracks here this season. But, you know, there's so many times we talked about him being involved in an incident, whether it was aggressive driving by himself or getting tangled up in some other people's messes in turn one of races, and on lap number one, and sends the 99 to the back, and you see him charge back up through the field. And I believe we've seen him get a hard charger award a couple times just from not getting a qualifying lap in, but he's had the pace to run with Kyle Kolber here this season, and he's shown it right here ahead of Kolber right now by 1.5 seconds, but just it hasn't had the consistency, and that's what Kolber has done time and time again. He's put in so many great performances this season, so many wins in the gold division, and I guess, racking up those gold class wins this season because he's not going to next season. He's going up to the platinum class. He's got to figure out how to beat and bang with these big boys.
Yeah, that's one thing when you move and you had really good success in or overwhelming success in one class, and you move to the next. You find yourself now at the bottom of the bottom of the stack. And hopefully you do well enough to at least make it to the middle. That's very hard to overcome. Moving from straight from one class or split of people to another, because you want to race around the people that are close to you. But if you're destroying your competition, you need to move, challenge yourself, get out there, get better, and give yourself a challenge. If you're winning every race and in the lower division, then it's obviously time for you to move, especially if they're light years behind you. We talked about we already have this point's worth double points, and already have your silver and gold champions, so it's already locked up. So obviously changes I'm sure will be made, silver going to gold, and then gold possibly going to silver. So next year or next season they won't be there. Oh, but no, Bourgeois going for a move here to take over another spot, moving
I think you're a little bit behind there.
No, who am I on?
Yeah. I was going to say, because no Bourgeois did get past Jason Phillips and moves up back into fourth place. We see that we're watching battles between Flagg as Flagg got in front of Bryce Reiner as well, so shift positions up front. As we mentioned, there is 5 points difference between first and second place typically, but tonight double points means it's 10 points difference between first and second, and then it's a total of 18 points from first to third. So the way it worked out is No Bourgeois certainly wanted to get the pole here tonight because there is bonus points for getting the pole position, and that's exactly what he did. And I'm trying to get the info on rules, so just to make sure I know what I'm talking about, at least per the rules. But yeah, it is for qualifying. I'm gonna try. But yeah, it's for qualifying on the pole. Normally 3 points, and then second place normally 2 points. But again, double points. So instead of 1 point difference, it's 2. So instead of 20 points heading into tonight, because Bourgeois got the pole over Jancic, it's down to 18. And I mentioned difference between first and third, 18 points. So if Bourgeois were to come back and win this race and Jancic were to finish in third, that's your difference right there, and they would end up tied on points. Now, there is one more thing that is up for grabs, and that's the fastest lap of the race. normally worth 1 bonus point. Again, tonight, worth 2. Right now, who has the fastest lap of the race? It is Nora Bourgeois. Actually, it is Craig Jansen by 2/100ths of a second. Actually, sorry. It is, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong thing. It is Nora Bourgeois by 1/100th of a second. So, again, and actually even more now as he turns in a blazing fast lap there, about 3/10ths faster than Jansic. So, if Bourgeois can find a way to get back to Craig Jansic, and if Justin Flag can show some kind of pace here, catch up to Jansic, or maybe Jansic has some kind of troubles one way or another, this thing's not out of the realm of possibilities, but certainly the mix-up and some tight racing there by Craig Jansic made it a lot tougher here for Bourgeois.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at the numbers and stuff. No, he's actually closing in. So, I mean, he's got plenty of time. He was at like 9 seconds, and now he's at under 8. So that time is coming down. And I'm back here watching Noah as he's been just on a rampage to the field. And you can only hope that, or think that Craig's just trying to bide his time, hit his marks, be a little bit easier on fuel. It's pretty easy to save fuel here, so obviously do that when you can. Get that extra, lap or less fuel that you need for the stop, whatever it may be. So if you can only save a half lap, it doesn't seem like much, but it could be that, that 2/10ths or 3/10ths in the, in a pit stop could be on a track, and that's quite some time. But right now it is Craig Jansic. He is out front over Justin Flag, 3 seconds back, and then Bryce Reiner 5 seconds back from the leader here, and P number 3. Noah Bourgeois down to 7.6. So that time is continuing to kind of come down, and round out your top 5 here overall is going to be Jason Phillips.
And watching William Burrell here, he is trying to un-Austin Powers himself here up the mountain, actually driving backwards up the mountain right now because he spun out. And he gets tagged there by Anna McLaren, and he ended up jumping back into the pits. But he was kind of stuck there because of the cattle chute, situation in the mountain. He couldn't just slam it into gear and try and spin out and spin it back around because there's really not enough room to do so. But I was keep an eye on the silver division leader, and I'm gonna go ahead and say his name anyway. And Jim Herrick out here in Mercedes. He's already damaged, so I mean, clearly it's working out. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe this whole time he had too much front bumper. And now he's got some pace out there in the 40, leading here in 13th position overall. Ethan McCracken right behind him in 2nd. Glenn Lazan, the 2 cars behind, he is in the gold division, so not running for position. It was Bill Burrell before he ended up spinning out, but pretty good run here so far for Jim Herrick. But the top 13 really all kind of spread out there. You see on the time and scoring, it is all white numbers. It is nobody close to each other as of right now until you get back here to 13th and 14th with Herrick and McCracken.
Yeah, and they got about a trio back here. Herrick and McCracken, Glenn was on. Dragging along there as well, so those 3 drivers continue to battle, obviously just in the midst of coming up the hill now, so nose to tail, and just kind of be patient. And I know there's a lot of times I find myself, I catch people really fast through the over the mountain part. I think I do very well carrying speed up across the top of the hill, and it's kind of like a curse too, because as fast as you can get it through there, you catch to somebody and then you're just slow anyways. So it's not the best place to be the fastest, but when you have nobody in front of you, man, you make up some major time up there when you start hitting those marks. And it took a long time to figure out marks and where to get in the throttle, and what car, especially what car you're driving, and then make sure you get the right setup, because you don't want the rear to cut loose on you. Some cars are way worse than others, and but right now everybody seems to be doing a pretty good job. I mean, obviously some early incidents have been devastating to a few of the drivers, like Frank Pisano. I don't think he's even on the track right now. No, he's not. Devin Young, he is back out. Bill Burrell getting repaired, but obviously was trying something. I'm sure he's starting to panic as he's watching his relative, but the guy coming up on him probably was not. So it definitely is something that you need to pay attention to quickly. If you don't have spotters, listening to what they're saying. Live spotters are the best, sometimes, not all the time. And I found that I'm not paid by them or anything, but iOverlay is got this nice heads up part of their overlays that when a car spins out in front of you, depending on which way they're facing, so if they're moving and going in the same direction, their line will be green, and then if they're sideways and kind of stalled out a little bit, it'll be yellow. But if they're like facing backwards or a big danger, the line is red as you close in on that person, and it's helped me out time and time again. We pay enough for iRacing, all the new content, everything that comes out. Expecting a new concept. There's already 2 new tracks out. There's a couple new cars that are out. So open up the pocketbook and get ready for those. When needed. If a league decides to go there, and I'm sure they will. But anyways, there's just so many different things that can happen. So. Anyways, we're out here right now. Craig Jancic is still out the front. Justin Flagg's in second. Let's see, I haven't been up there lately. See, check on Justin. Justin's back there, 2.6 seconds. No Bourgeois is down to moving in the third.
Yep, just making the pass here on Bryce Reiner, heading into Griffin's Bend there and getting ready to go up the mountain. So a big pass right there. Bourgeois to move into third, and he's definitely the fastest car on the track by a pretty good margin. That lap, he was almost a full second faster than Craig Jancic, so he is on the move and maybe driving with a little bit of extra fire, a little bit more anger here tonight. So we'll see if there's any repercussions, any retributions there as they catch up there to Autumn McLaren, who had some issues last time coming up the mountain. But yeah, we'll see if there's payback here at the end of this race. Certainly a lot to play for yet before this thing is over. But right now, it is, as Jimmy mentioned, Jancic, Flag, Bourgeois, Reiner, and Phillips for your top 5. Your top 3 in the gold class is Herbert Pineda, Kyle Kobler, and Christian Ortiz Torres. And top 3 in the silver is Jim Herrick, Ethan McCracken, and John Espada. But it's been a pretty good one out here, and we've seen a couple of cars spin sideways and unfortunately spin backwards in the cattle chute of the mountain up here. But he's seen Wayne Burrell try to turn back around, couldn't do it, then tried to back up the hill, and unfortunately got hit in the process and towed it back to pit lane. Then we've seen Autumn McLennan spin around and just had Austin Powers to get spotted, to get turned back around the right way. And you see right there, Christopher Reagan just in front of our leaders spinning out, and now getting it back turned around here out of the final corner. But Craig Jancic now just turning in the fastest lap of the race, a 2:01.35, and normally it kind of is what it is. Yeah, it's a 1 point, but here tonight, every single point matters, and here, double points, that's 2 points that can swing in the way of Craig Jancic unless Bourgeois has anything to answer.
I've seen faster here in these cars.
It's starting to get lighter. It's starting to get lighter with the fuel.
They're going to get lighter depending on the track temperature. I've seen down into the 2 minutes, even I think a 159, I think is the fastest I've seen. These drivers are driving around pretty quickly. I don't think I've ever done faster than a 203, closer to 204 range. So these drivers are really smoking around here, and these GT3s are pushing the limits.
And that's with you in a custom setup. These guys are out here just regular iRacing fix setup. Not to kick you under the bus even further, but I need every second, every
10th I can get. And you know, in reality, you know, probably for the speeds that I'm, you know, that we're running, you know, the standard downforce of these six here is probably do us just fine. But when we're trying to get that competitive edge, if it can give me a 2/10 faster down the hill, well then I'm going to take the 2/10 faster down the hill as much as I can. So yeah, it is hard though to get a setup that is suited for, you know, 4 to 5 different drivers.
Well, not only that, I feel like this is one of the toughest tracks to create a setup for, because you have the long straightaway into the chase. You have the straightaway on the front stretch, which isn't that long, but it's still a straightaway that you can open it up a little bit. And then all the way from Hell Corner down to Griffin's Bend, there's, you know, 3 long straightaways on this track where you don't want to sacrifice speed. And it's, you know, a good maybe not 2/3 of the track, but it's at least half the track is those straightaways and those long runs to those corners. But you can't have something that is you know, lacking on downforce, because you absolutely need it for corners like, you know, going up through the cutting, which has been kind of the bane of my existence for a while before I finally started getting a little bit more handling through that section of the track. But yeah, obviously you get up to the top and turn number 10 and heading from Skyline all the way down through the Dipper, back and forth chicane down the hill, and trying to hit your braking marks. You got to keep it as straight as possible. You have it, you know, the steering wheel arced a little bit, and you get on the brakes. If you're, you got a back end that is a little bit loosey-goosey because of the straight line speed, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get back to the straights. You're going to be wrecking up the mountains. So it is a really tough track to kind of, you know, bingo setup.
Yeah, it's I miss my oh no! Each McCracker goes for a ride going around turn number 1. I was back there watching that 3-way battle.
Take a look at it right here, and didn't even get the curb, just kind of a little bit early on the throttle, and that car just stepped out on him here. So that's going to give a little bit bigger gap here to Jim Herrick. But to answer the question, Noah Bourgeois did answer the bell. He ran a faster lap already, 0.04 of a second faster. But not to cut you off, Jimmy, we have one thing tonight, other than the 2-hour season finale and the double points and everything. We got something else that's double. That's pit stops. It's not just going to be a 1 pit stop race here tonight. These drivers, you know, should be coming in here very soon. And then from there, they're going to be right back in, you know, in another hour from then, because they're not going to be able to run, you know, an hour and a half on 1 tank of fuel.
Yeah, they're, you know, I can run about 45 minutes, Carl, at 40 to 45 minutes. Now, they did have a short pit, but that doesn't necessarily save them time or fuel. So we'll see how much longer they can go out here. I'm sure they'd like to at least get to the because they start off at 50%, so they need to hit that 30-minute mark. So if they want to make just one more stop, and then the question is, Carl, you know, are they taking tires at all? It's a long time to be out there on one set of tires. It's not something they typically need to worry about in a regular race, and you're not out there on a full tank. So, you know, are you getting enough? How's your car feeling? Are you going to take you know, a set now, or are you going to take a set after your second pit stop? So, I mean, either way, your fuel is going to take longer than your tires anyways. But it's just something, you know, the drivers need to worry about that they haven't had to do all season.
Well, I mean, you know, you put yourself in the shoes of our 2 platinum contenders here. Craig Jancic, 2-second lead at the front. He's got some time to spare, so I mean, and he's clearly a fast car out there by himself. I would tend to think, you know, you take tires if you're the 88 and try and get the race done like that, because you don't want to give up anything. But if you're Noah Bourgeois,
that's my rule with backers.
if you're Noah Bourgeois, I would tend to say no tires. I would think, you know, unless you're not losing any time by taking tires, by taking a full pit stop, you know, then obviously you're gonna do it. But you know, if there's an option of saving a little bit of time, saving anything out there, for Bourgeois, he's got to get to the front. That's his only chance. And you know, if you're an F1 fan and watching the race this previous season, or this previous weekend, you know, Max Verstappen needed to win but he needed Lando Norris to finish outside the podium, and he elected not to back up the field and bring anybody else into play. But if you're Bourgeois, maybe that's the option. Maybe you got to figure out how to get to the front, and then maybe back Craig Jancic up into Justin Flagg and into Bryce Reiner, and try and force him to get third place one way or another. But either way, pit stops are starting to happen here. We'll keep an eye on everyone, and looks like, yeah, nothing for any of the top four.
I'm impressed. That's all I'm going to say. I'm impressed because what's track temp? Let's see. Jancic's away and down. Track temp 70. So those tires should be good to go, and probably a good call. But next time down, they will be there. But just a flag beaten out, no Bourgeois. But not, back out to see.
2-second gap between Bourgeois and Flagg, but a pretty sizable 4.2-second lead for Jancic over Flagg. Again, a big one pit stop here. He was a half a second faster in the pit stall, but overall 1.5 seconds faster on the pit lane time. So getting in and getting out very fast. But I mean, I don't mind the call here for nobody taking tires, because in my opinion, Jimmy, maybe what you do, I know you want to run this thing out, as best as possible. You want to run on low fuel as much as possible. So, I mean, is there an option? I know it's already done here, but maybe was the better option here running and taking basically enough fuel to get you to that final pit window, running on these old tires on the lower fuel here once again, then taking new tires and running a full tank. I don't know. I don't know what the best case is.
They have an hour and a half. They really typically only can run around 45 minutes.
Right, but I'm saying if you get from here to there,
30 minutes.
But I mean, if you get from now until a minute, or an hour and 15 left to get to that final pit window, it may just about be a full tank anyway. But either way, no tires for anybody in the top 5 that we've seen.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just me thinking, if they can go longer than, if they can go an hour, right, and the tires are in good shape, and maybe, I'm just going to try to think outside the box. Take my tires now, and because I'm going to be out there for an hour, and then come in, just take, then I'll only have 30 minutes remaining, because this will take them to 2.5 hours, if they could stay out an hour. So that 30 minutes, you only need half a tank of fuel, which is going to be not enough time to change tires before the fuel's done. But if you're taking full fuel, it will be faster to change the tires than it will be to receive the fuel. I do know that. So interesting call here. I'm kind of curious to see who decides to take tires in the last little bit. I don't foresee somebody going 2 hours on a set. Is it possible? Yeah, track temperature is only at 71. But it's really how hard are they pushing those tires and here early on. But if they decide to take 2, the only thing that I can say is don't take just fronts or just rears. It usually spells disaster.
Yeah, but I'm not sure which side tire you would even want to take here. I feel like if you're taking tires at all, you're taking 4. You're not taking 1. You're not taking 2. You got to take 4. So
yeah, at least rights.
Yeah, we'll see what these drivers decide to do, if anything, here on what will be their second pit stop. But we're already through the first pit stop cycle. It is Craig Jancic to a 4.3 second lead out front. Justin Flagg in second. He's about 2 seconds ahead of Noah Bourgeois in third. Bryce Reiner, Herbert Pineda now in your top 5 as Jason Phillips slides back here a little bit. But Herbert Pineda leading in the gold class here. You're watching the battle right now. He's just trying to hold off Jason Phillips, and he's right behind. That is the lap car of Christopher Reagan. In the silver class, it is still Jim Herrick leading the way, and he's got Glenn Lazan still behind him, about a second behind him, not 4 position. Next car 4 position is 11.5 seconds back, and that is a lane below. So a good, actually 12 seconds back is a lane below. So a good run here so far with the lone Mercedes in the field, Jim Herrick.
Another thing that I didn't take into consideration, Carl, yesterday was big download day. And so anything could change with these cars. It doesn't seem like any of the drivers are really having any issues. So I'm not seeing any maybe huge changes, but I didn't get a chance to read through the notes.
No, and that's one thing they did talk about. I think it was last week that Craig Jansen brought up that they're going to be racing a day after the big update with updated setups and things like that. So I'm wondering how many drivers got out here to do some homework with these newer setups, if there were any. And like I said, I thought I remember seeing something about Bathurst getting a little bit of a refresh as well. So I'd be really interested. It wouldn't surprise me since they were over there in Australia scanning Adelaide. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of the race, but certainly a good start for the 88 of Jancic as he leads the way. Justin Flagg and Bourgeois, Bryce Reiner, all trying to get up there. And best of us, Herrick goes off track here a little bit, and Glenn Lezon's finally going to get past him. But Herrick's still got a pretty sizable, almost 13-second gap on below for top spot here in the silver, trying to finish it off on a high note. Looks like William Burrell is back out there on the track. He is your championship winner here in the silver class, as we talked to before the race, and just get back out there and get some final laps under his belt here for the 21. And you can say the same thing, excuse me, for Kyle Kobler, as he is about 4 seconds behind Herbert Pineda right now, but still having a good race up here in 7th place overall. And again, very much projecting the 97 going to be in the platinum class next season, and possibly even maybe seeing Herbert Pineda take that step up as well to boost through that platinum class, because you've seen Herbert Pineda fight up there with the big boys already throughout the season. Just can't get those finishes in that line. But Craig Jancic has got everybody in line right now. He's got a 3.5-second lead over Justin Flagg out front.
Yeah, tough, good run here at Mount Panorama, more known as Bathurst. Just a great race so far. Obviously, plenty of time still remaining. Still just over that 35-minute mark now. Still got about an hour and a half. So, yeah, not quite at not the third of the way. Very getting close.
Or forget, and not sure if she is tuning in. I know sometimes Mike Casey is tuning in. Maybe he can relay the message, but definitely want to give a shout out to Tiffany Ellis and the Ellis family. Unfortunately, losing a family member, and another family member not doing too well right now, and it's never a fun time for that to happen. Certainly around the holidays. So I just want to send thoughts and prayers out there to the Ellis family from the CRN family. And like Jimmy said multiple times, just because they're racers in multiple different series that we cover. Once you're under our wing, you're part of the CRN family. So everybody that we broadcast, we consider close friends, and we consider them part of the CRN family. So when one of us is hurting, a lot of us are hurting, and it's you hate to see it, obviously, especially this time of the year anyway. But either way, it's been a good one out here. Norbert Bourgeois still trying to reel in Justin Flagg to get up there in the second. He's only got a second now behind him, as Flagg is right in front of him. Second place, right in his range. And we'll see how long it takes him to get around Flagg, and then if he sets his sights on Jancic at the front.
Yeah, Flagg, I don't know Flagg very well, but just kind of looking, obviously, at him drive, doing a great job here tonight, running in the 202s pretty easily, and rocking a good old 4K iRating. So somebody that's been out there quite a bit with the field in the public realm and public eye is going to be Justin Flagg. So trying to track down Craig Jancic here, and along with Noah Bourgeois as well, trying to track down Craig as well. So doing a pretty good job right now. Noah was as far as almost 10 seconds, now down to 4. So it got that lead cut in half. So we're looking to see if he can finish it up here and maybe put on a race here to Craig Jancic the last third of the race.
Well, didn't see this happen when it happened. Bryce Reiner lost it out of the final corner, and he slipped back now to 7th place as he was stuck on the outside of the track waiting for some cars to go by before he got fired back off. lost a ton of positions and a ton of time to the front runners. And if anything, that's going to help out Jancic. It's one less car that can get up there, excuse me, and you know, mix and match with him up at the front. But Bryce Reiner back to 7th position right now, behind Kyle Kobler, and I'm sure might be some damage to the back end as he backed into the wall trying to get that thing spun back around, which is a little touch of the curb at the wrong time for Reiner in the final corner there, sent him around, and yeah, certainly looks a little bit banged up. And there you see, big wiggle coming down from Skyline and sends that thing into the wall, and not sure if he can get that thing turned back around, because that's not exactly an opportune place to be parked. Coming down from the mountain right there, and he's going to have towing it back to pit lane. So Reiner and the Ferrari not working too well here tonight. Looks like Justin Flagg for the time being is keeping Bourgeois at bay, as Flagg put in his fastest lap of the race, that last lap with the 201.61, so a good lap there for the 36, and he'll be holding off here until the end to put on a final charge. They're only 2.5 seconds behind Craig Jancic, and you see him going past the lap car here on the front stretch, and looks like Flagg will get by, but Bourgeois is going to have to run in behind. You see him flashing, trying to get by before we get to the mountain here, but it looks like that is the, let's see what number that was. It's blinking on by, looks like that 48 there for Ethan McCracken. Yeah. That's who it is. So you see now going around the outside is Bourgeois, and he continues his charge. He is now right behind Flagg up at the top of the mountain, and they'll head down through Skyline, down through very tough little tricky section of the track, through the Dipper, and they head off to Forest Elbow, also known as Cover Corner. It's certainly a section of the track that I cannot bingo. I can't get that car to stay stable to the right heading into to Forest Elbow. It's a very tough section of the track, but Bourgeois he's got a good run out of Forest Elbow, heading down to the chase, all over the backside here of Justin Flagg. When will he make the move? He's going to make the move right now to the inside into the chase, and Flagg going to give up that position. They'll head into the S-turn here, and now only 3.2 seconds up to Craig Jancic. And again, you wonder, will there be elbows out going the other way this time, as Bourgeois is going to look to catch that 88?
Yeah, and doing a good job at it, you know, and I'm sure Craig is looking in his mirror, and he's probably listening now. Noah's coming, and he's driving, I think, a little pissed off, for lack of better words.
I've been there, I've been there, Jimmy. I drive faster when I'm pissed off. You know that as much as I do.
You know, he made a mistake. You know, went too wide, you know, and was trying maybe to give too much room. You know, they touched doors just a little bit, very little, very slight, you know, so it's just heavy racing early on. And he ends up getting the worst end of the deal, but only falling back by, you know, only but a mere 10 seconds, and has closed that down 7 seconds. And, you know, he's done it through a pit stop, he's done it through traffic, he's done it through, you know, he's flashing lights, he's coming up on traffic now. So everything that Jancic has to go through, you know, Bourgeois has got to go through as well. It's just when and can you get the timing down. You know, we've seen him make passes over the mountain, and here's another one here with Flagg, you know, taking advantage of that as well. But that really put, I think that was John Espada, in a real tight pickle. It's you know, you want the drivers that go by, and they're on a mission, but you can see damage done.
Yeah,
I
it
think
looks like he's damaged his car. Yep, I don't see a you know, meatball or anything like that, but certainly damaged here. Trying to let these leaders go by and let them battle, but unfortunately he's going to leave with some battle scars, and he was doing that pretty well up there in 3rd place in the silver. Now he's going to drop back to 4th, and probably going to have to pit as well because of this and get some damage repaired. But yeah, it looks like he may have ended up crashing again here. Coming down into
he must have broke the steering.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was handling too well. Heading down into Forest Elbow, looks like he's going to pull it off to the side here and tow it back to pit lane. So unfortunate there for Espada. And looks like Jim Dunn haven't looked in on him too much here today. Running the Tim Hortons number 83 here tonight, and that's not exactly the way you want to be pointing. And you thought about spinning the back end into the wall, but you know what happens when you bump that back end into the wall? It just rips that spoiler off, and you're done for. Well, either way, he may have been able to limp it back around without a spoiler, but he decides to throw it back to pit lane as well. So we've seen quite a bit of towing here tonight. Unfortunately, the Mountain claiming some victims here early on. We're not even halfway through this race. They've got a lot of racing left to go. And it is back to Jancic and Bourgeois first and second. Only 2.9 seconds separating the two. And it's dropping as Jancic was 2/10 slower than Bourgeois that last time by. So we will possibly see another battle on our hands before this thing's over. But again, Jancic is in the catbird seat. If he finishes second, there's nothing that Bourgeois can do. He's done what he could. He's got the pole here tonight, got those bonus points over Jancic. He has the fastest lap as it stands right now. He's got those bonus points in tow, but he's got to finish 2 positions ahead of Jancic. He's got to win the race and hope that Jancic finishes in third, because second place is enough to give Jancic the title.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's still an hour and 15 minutes left. So the race has only just begun, Carl. Like, I mean, these drivers are typically driving 45 minutes. So we're out here tonight for 2 hours for the finale here at Bathurst. And, you know, they're doing their best and already showing why, you know, these 2 drivers have continued to battle out all season to overcome something like this. You know, we've seen it last season. Mason Smith, same kind of issue. He was driving well, ended up spinning around, running away, and then getting enough spaces at the end, you know, ahead of Craig Jancic to win a championship. So can it be redone again this season? Craig Jancic sitting in the spot that he's in a pretty good spot. You know, I don't know, maybe, you know, if he knows that he's good, he might just let Noah go by so that he knows that he's going to win regardless. He just needs to stay behind him. But, you know, you're killing Justin Flag out. I don't think Justin's going to just kind of roll over. I think he just let Noah go because he knows how aggressive that he is right now, because he knows that Noah needs to be in front of Craig, period, or he has 0 chance to win in here tonight, or, you know, be as, you know, to even possibly get within that point or 2 to winning the championship. But, you know, he's got the pole, he's got the fastest lap, and if he's in front, you know, of, you know, like you said, I think he's going to come up a couple points short still. But, you know, anything can happen. Anything can happen to Craig. Everybody's human out here, and one slip up in a wrong spot, you can find yourself turn around in a spot that you've seen drivers towing, you know, or you're gonna be able to disengage that track control and drop the hammer and spin that car 360 or, you know, 180 to get it back the other way. Because I don't know how these cars do it so well, Carl, but when you spin, you spin 100%. You've seen it a few times now. The car just spins right around backwards.
Yeah, it never.
Right there, one spot.
It's never sideways. It's never, you know, 270 degrees. It's always 180 every single time. It's just irritating as all you know what. But yeah, so if you don't catch it, you know which way you're going to be facing. So I guess, you know, right away you need to figure out, okay, which way do I need to roll backwards if I have the space to roll backwards and get this thing back turned around. But yeah, I agree. It's so annoying. But yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next question to you. If you're Jancic, given what's happened already in this race, given the situation, do you maybe just let Noah Bourgeois go in this case and just settle yourself into second place? Possibly that's the play here for the 88, because he knows Bourgeois is coming. I'm sure Jancic is doing some saving along this way here, but, you know, maybe he lets Noah go by. Maybe he just follows him for a little bit. But can you? Because maybe that's what Justin Flag was doing. Maybe Justin Flag let Bourgeois by, thinking that, you know what, Bourgeois, go and catch him for me, reel him back in with you guys battling, and then I'll be right there to clean up the pieces.
and that could be, the setup. Justin's not in this horse, he's not in this race for this championship, and that could be another reason he just let him go. And it's not like Noah is slow, that's for sure. But it is hard to pass here. You can see, what happens when you get two good drivers running against each other. They can find themselves tangled up, and one taking the worst end of it than the other. And that could have very well been Craig, going off in the other direction and down in that corner. And I've seen it happen. So just either way, just kind of trying to get things done here. But it's gonna wind up to be a good one. Everybody's kind of stretched out right now, though, Carl. We are at 48 minutes, so probably got another maybe 35 minutes or so before they'll be looking at coming into the pits.
Well, here's the battle for the lead as they're coming up on Jim Herrick, and they go 3 wide. Herrick goes off the track, and you see, I don't think Bourgeois was too happy from earlier, as a little bit of elbows out there on the pass on Jancic, and gets back to the lead. You see Jancic peeking to the inside. Now he's going to dive to the inside here, but a little fake out here. I think he realizes he doesn't want to get into this fight with Bourgeois. He needs to just settle back in here into second. I know Flag is now right there as well as they battle through that traffic. Flag is not too far behind, but he's having some trouble getting through this lap traffic right now. So Bourgeois back to the lead. Jancic is right behind him. How much will Jancic try and hold onto the back of this number 5? Will he just try and settle into second? Act number 2 has started.
We're about the halfway mark, closing in on 10 minutes. We talked about it. Seeing the opportunity, used those lap cars as basically a pick. Craig Jancic taking his time, making sure he can finish this race. But right now, if Craig could just keep him within touch, just keep him right there at the bumper, draft him, save the fuel, maybe hope that Noah makes another mistake, because you can see how aggressive he was driving to get to that point, and we know that he needs to be there. He said it in the interview. He's either gonna win it or wreck trying, and I don't think he meant it in a way like he wanted to wreck everybody in his way, but definitely was very aggressive with some of those moves, and to get there, to get to that point to where he needs to be. Now it's on Craig to maybe use Noah Bourgeois' draft and get the fastest lap of the race. Noah's got it by 400ths of a second right now. So, and that's, Craig hasn't had that chance to draft Noah. So,
I'll tell you right now, Jimmy, he's not going to have that draft, as Noah Bourgeois is putting in a lap right here. He is leaving Craig Jancic behind as quick as he can. It briefly was over a second. Jancic getting a little bit of draft down the chase right there. But Noah Bourgeois is looking to check out, get away, and not even think about Jancic the rest of this race. He is putting in and putting down the hammer right now to try and get away, try and break this draft back up to a second, a little bit over a second through the final corner. Looks like Jancic's just going to keep it in tow, and we'll see what the lap times are this time by. It is it's not popping up just yet, or if it did, it's a 201.8 for Bourgeois, 202.47 for Jancic. So getting a little bit of draft right now down into turn number 2. Maybe this is the chance if Jancic can keep it within a second, but Bourgeois is tantalizingly trying to break that draft right away.
Yeah, he's using every bit of racetrack that you can think of for this car. It's he's running. You're watching every kind of camera angle, and there's times, Carl, I think the mirror scrapes the wall. I mean, it's so close. How hard he's pushing his car. I can only want to be able to drive like this at times, I don't think maybe a perfect lap I might be able to do something like this, but like he's doing this lap after lap after lap, and just the speed and to kind of get things going. We're talking a 201.3 or 2 in the 201s with a iRacing setup. It's nothing fancy. They make them pretty neutral, and just just rocking this thing out here.
And rocking it is what he did right here out of the final corner. I'm sorry, out of Forest Elbow. He spins it sideways. Needs to get it back going again, driving a little bit aggressive on that lap, maybe trying to set a new personal best. And now he's back to square one. He's back to 6 seconds behind Jancic, who got held up there a little bit, had to take some time and go through the grass to get around him. And now Bourgeois back into third, getting a little help down the backstretch here from the lap car to get back up to speed. This may help him out a little bit here. But again, Bourgeois is going to have to run that down the 88. So this thing is ebbing and flowing all over the place. Jimmy, we're not halfway yet. It's crazy.
We think we're in like the final portions of the race. It's just, you know, I think Noah forgot to turn off the sweat pumps after he got by Jancic and decided to put in a heater and just, you know, find himself going around through Covert's corner or the dirty elbow, whatever you want to call it. It's that corner is just a bane of my existence, but he does it again, Crawl. No damage to the car. He just some ticked off tires, and I'm sure he'll be able to push those right back. But now up back to that 5-second lead, and coming back down again as Craig hits the mountain, and now Noah doing the same. So obviously flag caught in the middle of this battle, but keeping composure, still staying right behind Craig Jancic by about 2 seconds, I believe. Or is it 3? It's 2.5. Yeah. So just doing a good job. I think he'll do it again. You know, he'll let Noah go and just keep his spot. He's running. Justin's been running some great laps, so I don't want to overlook Justin by any means. He's running some stellar laps. One of the three drivers that can run 201s. His best is a 201.6. So, and you see right there, Craig Jancic just tapping the wall, exiting. Dirty elbow. So it's just that corner is horrible, Carl.
That corner's got about 10 different names here tonight as it stands. But yeah, it's
corner, cold corner, dirty corner, or whatever.
Dirty elbow. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
It's mad. That corner can kiss my old booty. It's horrible. Took me a long time, a lot of laps. I've wrecked a lot of cars, caused a lot of cautions. I've probably taken out more racers in that corner than any other track. And it's really not that hard. As soon as you figure out your spot, you'll never miss it again. And it's awesome. It feels good. It's really fast.
I almost feel like it's
forever.
But I almost feel like it's like Blanchimont at Spa. It's a corner where you take it just a little bit wrong one time, and you're either going to hit the inside wall, you're going to hit the outside wall going out of it, you're going to loop it like you see Bourgeois do it right there. It's unsuspecting. It's just basically a 90-degree corner. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's even banked for you. I mean, it's banked for your pleasure. But it still is very difficult to bingo time in and time again. And you've seen right there, Bourgeois, fastest one on the track here, trying to get away from Jancic, and just a little bit too loosey-goosey with that throttle coming out, loops it around, trying to battle back right now. Right, it was up to just over 6 seconds. It's already down to 5.2. He's wasted no time. He's back on the throttle, trying to run down Jancic. But in the meantime, so was Flag. Flag was 0.4 of a second faster on that lap, trying to get back up there to Jancic. Got it under 2 seconds right now. Could very well be looking at our final pit stops here in the next 10-15 minutes, because they'll get into that final window to get them to the end. As you see, Jancic just brushed the wall a little bit again out of Forest Elbow. But we're getting close to the 1 hour mark. So I think we're going to go ahead and turn over to the sights and sounds here for a little bit, and give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
sights and sounds here of the CSRL GT Series season finale here at Mt Panorama, Bathurst. And we've seen some pretty good battles here, a couple of battles going through the field, as we've seen a couple good saves by Christopher Reagan. Keep an eye on him right now as he catches back up to a lane below, as he had 2 saves there into Forest as we were watching. The sounds of all the different cars ripping and roaring around this track is always great to hear. I love hearing just the different engine bellows from some of these cars. So nice and quiet, like the BMW, and certainly some multi like the Mercedes out there. But it's definitely fun taking a spin behind each of these cars out here. Looks like we may have our first early pit stops here as Jason Phillips inside the top 5 is coming into the pits. Wonder if this is a little bit early. Me and Jimmy did notice that it's not a typical race where they start off with their 40 or 50% fuel and then can fill the tank up from there. This is 50% max for the entire race, so that's why you've seen a second pit stop already right at about the 1 hour mark, and you're going to see at least one more. And the question is, can drivers like Bourgeois, Flag, Pineda, and some of the rest that pit on lap number 28, can they make it to the end on just one more pit stop? Greg Jancic stretching it out an extra lap, so maybe he's playing the long game, he's playing the fuel game. He's now got Noah Bourgeois behind him once again. It is a 2.9 second gap. You see it looking back there from Jancic going through Hell Corner, turn 1 there. As the camera switches, you see that right there is Noah Bourgeois coming in again for round 3, act 3, whatever you want to call it. It is not over just yet. We're now just about in the window, just over it actually, of a typical race here for CSRL. So now we're kind of officially in the last race of the season time frame, as we're an hour and 20 minutes into this thing. Still got another 40 minutes to go. So a lot of action yet to go. At least one more pit stop from these drivers. Maybe 2 if they have to come in for a splash and go, and certainly not going to help their cases for the end of this thing. But Craig Jancic leads the way, 2.7 seconds over Noah Bourgeois, Justin Flag over Pineda, and Dave Topher now for your top 5. Pineda is your leader in the gold class. As you see, he's got a pretty decent-sized lead right now over Christian Ortiz-Torres in second place, but 38.7 seconds back is Christian Ortiz-Torres. So great pace here for Pineda in the BMW here tonight. Top runner in the silver class. We had our eye on him battling with Christopher Reagan, and they're battling here once again, heading down to Griffin's Bend one more time, and turn number 2, and it's still going to be side by side as below, holding on to that position for the time being. And now this is not exactly an easy stretch to go side by side, and Reagan's going to back out of it here once again. Below has got a 18-second lead over Ethan McCracken in the silver class driving here, but it is it's about to get interesting here, I think, once again. And Jimmy as now down to less than 2 seconds, separating the top 2 again.
Yeah, it's building up. You can just you might turn on the theme music somewhere down the line here. So,
Jaws on here.
Jaws or something, but you see drivers. Oh my goodness!
Justin Flag into the pits and a hard impact coming in. And not sure if these drivers have a fast repair. Looks like he's going to get away.
They get 2.
They get 2. Okay, so yeah, so he would be able to repair that. I think I'm sure he's looking to switch it on if he hasn't already. But that was a hard impact. He was losing some time to these drivers on this run. He was down to about 13 seconds behind your leaders, and now he comes in here an hour and 23 minutes into this thing, and to me that looks like it's going to be another pit stop before this thing is over for Justin Flag, and he's taking tires on this pit stop as well. It doesn't look like there's that much of a difference. I think I've seen about maybe a half a second difference at most, taking 4 tires or not taking any tires at all. So it's kind of, why the heck not kind of situation. But we'll see when our leaders come into the pits. Justin Flag in the pits, and again, a top 2 is all Jancic needs to secure this championship, but he wasn't 100% sure on the math, and if he trusted me, not sure if that's the best thing to do either when it comes to the math. I certainly know Jimmy's probably not the best to just trust either, so maybe he's trying to think and that he's got to try and win this thing just to be sure. And for sure, if he does win, he is guaranteed to be the championship this season.
And not necessarily win, but he just wants to be in front of the 5. That's the name of the game here tonight, and for Craig. And there's been races where it's been, you know, a hard task to do. There's been races where Noah's walked away and pretty near, you know, been a half a lap in front of Craig. So, you know, he knows that Noah has the ability to run those type of times. And as you can see here tonight, even with the amount of pressure that Noah's under, and needing to catch Craig, has found himself yet within range again for the 3rd time here tonight to try to get around Craig. Now, Craig's got a nice little buffer, you know, because flag came in. So, you know, there's, you know, if I've personally done the math, because I have not, if I personally done the math and know that if I let Noah by, I still win, I'm letting him go.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's the prudent thing to do. I know Jansen wants to finish out front. I know he wants to win this race, especially last race of the season. I know he wants to show his dominance, but if you want to be the champion, you want to be guaranteed a spot as the champion. He's got a big buffer right now to 3rd place, and Kenny only needs to finish in the top 2 here. He can follow Bourgeois home. He can lose by 20 seconds to Bourgeois here at the end and still be the champion. So I think you may need to look big picture. It's easy for me to say. It's certainly harder when you're in the car, and especially when you've been leading, you know, 95% of this race here. It's been all Craig Jansick out front, but Bourgeois losing in again. It's down to 1 1/3 seconds. He's definitely got the 88 in sight, but the question is, can he get him before the pit stops here? Because both Bourgeois and Jansick will be looking to pit probably these next couple laps. Bourgeois may have to come in before, and probably will come in before Jansick. Will it be the last pit stop for Bourgeois? Because this thing could very well come down to a fuel strategy type of race, and you could see Jansick stretch this thing out and make it on one more pit stop, where Bourgeois needs to get that splash and go.
Noah's coming in this time, so he'll need to stop.
Yeah, I
had a feeling he was coming in this time.
The short pit is certainly probably going to help Bourgeois here, but when it comes down to making it to the end, I think unless Jansen comes in this next time, if he's able to go another 2 laps here, I think he's locked himself into to be able to make this thing all the way to the end, where Bourgeois, he may have to get to the lead and try and block and go into ultra save mode just to try and get this thing to the end, because you don't want to have to come in for one more pit stop.
Don't want to, but no, Bourgeois has a black flag.
I'm not seeing anything on my side.
I'm showing black.
Unless he's already in the process of serving it. We'll see. Now he's down and out, so...
Okay. I don't know why I was a little
Liar.
black then.
Blasphemer.
I'm trying to make it interesting.
It's already been interesting, Jimmy. You don't need to amp it up here as Bourgeois down and out. And he is clean. He does not have any black flags. Looks like the only one with a black flag is Paul Bailey, but it looks like Bailey out of the race. I think Bryce Reiner has called it quits after he had another incident here as well. So we're left with, looks like 18 cars still running in this race, possibly 19. Not sure if Oda McLennan is going to be back out there running, already a minute, almost 2 minutes into the pits. But Jansick is coming down the stretch here, down to the chase here one more time. We'll see if he comes in the pits this time. Lost his rear spoiler as well. It's not going to be fun going through the top of the mountain, especially going down through the through Skyline. Whole back end ripped off of that number 69, and ooh, that's not a fun ride right there. Rush of the wall keeps it going. It doesn't look like that thing is handling too well at all. Keep an eye on Jansick. He is going around for another lap as he gets close to the wall there through the exit, and this will all but guarantee him one stop to the end for Jansick. Bourgeois probably going to have to come in for a stop and go. We'll get it back over to Glenn Lazan, see if he can limp this thing back down. Gets around Forrest's elbow. I'm not sure if I'd want to go full speed through the little kink of the chase at the end of this this straightaway here, but we'll keep an eye here on the naked back end of the Aston Martin coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, he probably doesn't realize the rear end's gone. But yeah, it's gone. Glenn, if you're listening, your rear end's gone.
Yeah, it's gotta be a little tail end happy enough that he's gonna have to bring that thing in, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna get it woed up, cut through the corners here, and get that number 69 Red Bull into the pits to get some fast repairs done. As taking a look here at Craig Jancic, 42-second lead, but he's got to make that final pit stop, and then we'll see if he hands that lead over to Bourgeois. I think it's a good chance that Bourgeois may get the undercut on him here, as he's pit a couple laps ago now, and I can tell you right now, Justin Flagg is not going to be able to make it to the end, pitting on lap number 40. He's going to have to come in again. Drivers that pit on lap number 42, I think it's a pretty big stretch, and that includes Noah Bourgeois trying to make this thing to the end. But Craig Jancic has now made it past the hour-and-a-half mark, and we've seen these drivers go, roughly 2 and maybe a little bit over 30 minutes here on some of these runs, and now Jancic is going to be coming in with 29 minutes left in this race, unless he has enough to go around for another lap now. He's going to dive it in here late, just inside the cones, and as long as he doesn't get a black flag coming in, he should be in pretty good shape, and gets in there very fast as usual, and probably gaining some time right there. Keep an eye now on Bourgeois as he comes down the backstretch. Still got a good portion of the track that he's got to get through, and we'll take a look in the meantime over at Jancic as he pulls into his pit stall. We'll see if he's getting more fresh tires on that thing as well. And again, I think it makes sense. Why not take tires, but tires on the 88 here for Jancic. So another head scratcher. I guess maybe saving some money. Last race of the season, want to save some money for next season and not use this set of tires.
I mean, he's just trying to stay out in front. If he had to save a little bit, he might have lost that time to Noah there. He looks like Craig's now exiting, so as that gap is closing down here. But you can see Noah just coming around turn number 1, so Craig's going to come out in front of him here still by a good little bit, so by about 3 seconds still. So Noah's still got some work and has to fuel save, and Craig probably does not. Yeah, this might be all she wrote here for the 5 if they have to come in again. But somebody that we haven't really talked about, Carl, and they're coming in the pits right now, is number 12 of Dave Tilford. He is just now coming in, stretched it out as long as Craig Jancic. So, we already know that Justin Flagg is going to need to pit. Will he be able to get down and out, or will that gap be too big? But either way, it looks like Dave's going to have a great top 5 here, I think, tonight.
Maybe even a podium, with Flagg coming in here again, and
maybe
Jason Phillips is going to have to come in again. He's been in lap number 38, so a podium is possibly on the line here for Dave Tilford in the season finale. It looks like he's going with no tires as well. The gap out front, 2.6 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that and see if that comes down at all. If Bourgeois decides to push and try and get to the lead and then maybe save, or maybe some shenanigans are still in play before this thing is over. We'll see how it all plays out as they're lapping their number 16 or 16th place, the number 21 of William Burrell, as they put him down another lap. There is only 5 cars on the lead lap, unless I'm mistaken here. Actually 8, yeah, 8 cars on the lead lap here. It's pretty crazy. I mean, we started with 23 cars here in this field, down to 8 on the lead lap. These top drivers putting in some just fantastic lap after lap after lap times.
Yeah, good showing here tonight. Obviously, a few drivers could not be here tonight. You don't see Mason Smith out there. You don't see Christopher Hamilton out there. You know, and definitely could have been a few drivers that really threw a wrench in to Jancic or Bourgeois' continuous effort to keep marching back to the front to create the catch Jancic, because we do know how fast Mason Smith, obviously last year's champion, not able to be here. Didn't have the season he wanted. Took a couple weeks off and put him kind of out of that race. But I think last week he didn't have a great showing, so obviously just not wanting to get in anybody's way here. Taking time off, maybe reset, have a holiday, you know, and then when they start things back up here at CSRL, maybe we'll see that number 6 back out here running again. Same thing with the Christopher Hamilton, always a great competitor, which he was out here tonight. Typically he's probably out maybe in the stands there tonight. I know there's a few people watching, about 20 people watching right now, so great showing for everybody. It's I think more of a high here. Usually numbers aren't quite that high, so if you're out there new, like what you see, want to get into some GT3 racing here with CSRL, they call it the Casual Sim Racing League, but they're anything but casual. They like to basically they have 45-minute races. You start off with 50% fuel and a fast repair, and if something happens, you're able to get in the pits and get your fast repair and get back on track and still be able to have that ability to get a clean run. They also have multiple divisions. They got, you hear us talk about the silver, there's a gold, and a platinum division for the drivers. So, you know, depending on your skill level, you're a rookie for a few races, and then they figure out where they need to put you, and they stick you along your peers. And then their finale is a 2-week run. Typically, the seasons have been 10. What's that?
That's a 2-hour, not 2-week. Just want to clear that up.
Oh, yeah. Well, 2 hours, same thing. It feels the same sometimes. It doesn't matter. We're here at CRL, we'll be here. But yeah, the 2-hour finale, you know, so 10-week season, 2-hour finale, you know, depending, and all the tracks have been changing, but yeah, they're out here, and they do a great job, and you know, it's fun to watch them here Wednesday nights. So if you're interested, hit up Jim Dutton, or you can reach out here at CRN, and we'll answer you and get your, you know, the information you needed to get in touch with Jim. That runs everything over here. But yeah, great run here tonight. We're an hour and 36 minutes in, still 23 minutes remaining, a little over 23 minutes remaining. Craig Jancic is still out front by 2.4 seconds, with Noah Bourgeois trying to close that gap, and it's coming down slowly, but it's been bouncing back and forth a little bit. Justin Flagg doing a fantastic job holding on to number 3 over Jason Phillips in 4th. Herbert Pineda is currently in 5th. Dave Tilford, we talked about, is in 6th. Christian Ortiz Torres in 7th, and Kyle Kohler for your top 8 cars on the lead lap. And then the cars 1 lap down is going to be Brandon Potts, Cesar Colon Torres, Glenn Lazon, Christopher Reagan, and Bailey. Is that's 13 cars, so that'd be they're 1 lap down, and then 2 laps down you have McCracken and Herrick. 3 laps down is Burrell and Espada. 4 laps down is Young, and we have a few drivers still in the pits. We got McLennan, Reiner, Bailey, Jim Dutton's down there, down and out, and Frank Pisano down and out early. Very early, lap 1, as he had a tough start. You hate to see it, but yeah, right now it does look like everybody's doing a fantastic job. Nobody's close into battle for position except the leaders, and they're 2.3 seconds apart. It does look like we just had an incident with Ethan McCracken.
Yeah, took a look at him. Didn't look like he had any kind of damage here. We'll take a look and see what the actual incident was. See if he was just slowing down or just a little bit of a loop. In the final corner, yeah, loop out of the final corner there, but he gets the 48 pointed back the right way with no damage to it as well. They get a chance to see it before the race, but we'll take some time here as we've got about 20 minutes left in this one. I'm going to show you the moment of the race from last week out. And I just want to make sure we get this thing queued up here. And this was the moment of the race from last week at Watkins Glen. It was an epic battle for a top 10 overall between Steve McLean there on the left in the orange and black, and Cesar Colon Torres here on the inside as they went back and forth for probably 3-4 laps. And right there, a little incident, little spin right there, and the first corner is what did it end for Cesar Colon Torres, and McLean finally was able to get past him and walk away a little bit. I want to thank Digital Sim Sports for sponsoring all season the moment of the race. We look back and see the best moment from the previous race. I want to thank Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the fastest lap of the race week in and week out. Right now, fastest lap of the race and the 2 bonus points for this week still in line for Noah Bourgeois with a 201.31, 4 hundredths of a second faster than Craig Jancic. I want to thank 40 Racewear for everything that they do. Mark PC, same thing with them, as they've been continued sponsors here for CSRL. And I mean, you love when you get a sponsor to jump on for a season. But 40 Racewear, Mark PC, been on board now for multiple seasons. And then also thank you to Sim Racing, Speed Hub, and Chris Burrell for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award for each of these races, which right now will be going to number 69 of Glenn Lazan. As you see the back end ripped off, it's back on there, but they duct tape it or what, it's still either way back on there. He's up 12 positions after starting shotgun on the field. Started dead last here tonight and up 11 spots, and I'm not sure if a top 10 is in line here. He's got about 40 seconds to make up with 20 minutes left in this race. I think it's a little bit of a tall order. Yeah, that's the one that's going to be close. I mean, we've seen Kyle Kobler already make his final pit stop. He came in for a splash and go, about 5 seconds worth of fuel, and his total pit lane time was 42 seconds. So it gives you an idea. I mean, right now, Tilford, if he wants the top 4 here, he's got to pick up the pace a little bit, though, because his last time by there, 205 flat. Not going to do it when you got Jason Phillips running 203.3 for his last lap. So loses some time there to Phillips. We'll see if he turns it on this lap and maybe puts in a better lap time. But I mean, either way, looking like a surefire top 5 once Pineda makes his pit stop. Going to be close for a top 4, and I think top 3 may be out of the realm of possibility as well. I don't think he's going to be able to gain that much time on Justin Flagg, who's been very, very good here tonight in the season finale, and turning in some quick enough lap times to stick with the top 2 for quite some time. But Flagg has fallen back since towards the end here, and now is about 25.5 seconds behind your leaders. 2.5 seconds in between your leaders, is down just under 2 seconds not too long ago, but now they got some lap traffic playing a little bit of a part, stretching them back out here once again. 2.5 second lead for Jancic over Bourgeois. But you got to give it to the man right in front of Craig Jancic. You mentioned Christian Ortiz Torres, and I think arguably maybe the best race of the season for him right now. He's running in 7th place. Finally now getting lapped right now but it took, you know, an hour and 45 minutes for the 11 to finally go down lap. So a great run here for Ortiz Torres, second in the running and at the gold class. Sure, he's 51 seconds behind Pineda, but Pineda really hasn't put a foot wrong here tonight. Doing a great job here in the 99 and the lone BMW out there in the field. So hats off to Pineda as well. A lane below, I mean, it's been kind of, I feel, 4 or 5 different drivers in the silver class here tonight. Looked like they were going to easily come away with the silver class win. I think it's pretty certain now that a lane below is going to be the one that walks away with the win here tonight, as he has got a pretty sizable lead over Ethan McCracken. McCracken making excuse me, his final pit stop, but it looked like it also involved a black flag, so it took him a little bit longer to get through the pit stop there. And actually, that was just him serving the black flag, so he's yet to make his final pit stop. So it is a sizable, currently 53-second lead for below over Ethan McCracken, and then Jim Herrick in third in the silver. But up at the front, Craig Chancik looking to walk away with another championship here in CSRL, another top flight championship, and come away with the platinum class win here tonight. Not just the win of the championship, but he wants to win overall as well. No Mason Smith to knock him off the roost this season, or at least not as much here as Mason probably would like to be. Bourgeois certainly has given it a valiant effort. Looks like it may come up just short, but you never know. 15 minutes left in this race, in mechanical failures, you know, internet outage. You never know. This thing is not over until it's over. Yep. I mean, we've heard things, you know, cats chewing the cord, you know, anything. Yeah, to say the least. And it's even worse when you do everything right. You get that save. You save it on the memory stick or the block or whatever it was back in the day, and then you lose the memory card. It can get even worse. And you want to talk about panic setting in and trying to find something. Yeah, not fun. And I think there were even sometimes, I think some game cartridges, they had a little spot in there for a memory card to sit in there to kind of store away. And I think I had a friend that rented a game, took it back with the memory card in there for whatever reason. And yeah, what wasn't great. It wasn't great growing up in our days. But now I mean, everything saves on the cloud, or you got some things. The only thing I gotta complain about when it comes to memory is, I wish I have the Xbox S, and you got a small hard drive on there. I mean, big enough that you can have multiple games on there, but you can't have more than 3 or 4 large size games. So and you can upgrade the internal. You can upgrade the internal like that. Nice. I've been the same way and kind of went over to the dark side. I was a PlayStation man myself for the longest time, and always ripped on Xbox. And I mean, I have sitting right inside of my Xbox, I have a PS3 and a PS4. I mean, it wasn't until I did have a 360, and I think I briefly had an Xbox One, but it never liked the Xbox. They're not really that much different. The controllers aren't that much different, but I was never a fan of the Xbox until I got the new one here. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the games that you can only play on one system, and that'll lead me to a point here in a second. But the library for the Xbox Game Pass is really kind of what got me hooked, and it's starting to get a little pricier now as they're starting to have some price hikes. But I mean, you know, there's so many games on there, and there's a lot of times where, you know, a big new game that comes out, they end up purchasing the rights to drop it on the Game Pass day one, and it's pretty cool. I know, like, for instance, the new Indiana Jones game that came out day one on the Xbox Game Pass, so that was pretty cool. It's, you know, a $60-$70 game that you get for free just for having the Game Pass. But when I look at things like, you know, I was looking the other day, I'm like, okay, what's another game I want to, you know, get into now that I'm done with, you know, this game. I want to try and get something different. I'm like, you know what? I haven't played the Gran Turismo in a while. The new Gran Turismo 7 looks pretty good. Maybe I'm looking to get into that, not realizing it's PlayStation only, and I'm like, and it's only PS5. I don't think it's PS4, so I couldn't even go back to the PS4 and do it that way. It's like, you suck. I'm not about to drop, you know, $100 just to get the system, just purposefully, really, for one game. So I hate the single console games. It sucks. Yes, yep.
It's Carl's fault.
Yep, that was good. That was good. Nobody wanted to hear him anyway. Let's be honest.
Okay, thanks.
No. Well, actually, Jim, while we have you in here, you still in here?
Sure.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we got about 10 minutes left in this race, and I think, unfortunately, all the championship implications may be on the table unless we get elbows out here again when there's Wild catches back on the Jancic. But I get a chance to talk to you now about next season. I know it's still quite a ways away, you know, probably almost a month away, going to happen in 2026, I would assume, but never too early to start thinking about it, start talking about it. You know, you get your eyes on any new tracks that just came out to maybe dawn on the schedule, or maybe you don't want to drop any teasers out there yet.
So I haven't had a chance to look at any of the schedules yet, so I'm not sure. But we are going to follow either the GT3 or IMSA schedule we usually do. So that's going to be the same. Pretty much it's going to be business as usual. We might make some changes to the way we steward things, but that'll be about it. It's you know, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, and that's I believe where we're at. So.
Yeah, and you got to be happy with the car count even tonight. I mean, the season finale, it's probably one of your lowest car counts of the season, but you're still cracking easily over 20 cars.
Yeah, so it's been good, and I would like to see it a little higher. Not tonight specifically. Tonight, I mean, 2-hour race is a big commitment for anybody during the week and leading up to Christmas. So this is great. Can't complain about it at all. but yeah, I'd like to see, 35 to 40 per race, every race if I could. But anywhere between 25 to 40, like you're still getting a great show for everybody watching, right? So yeah, I nothing to complain about.
Sorry, I just had a little heart drop moment there because Greg Jameson blinked out for quite a bit down the other straightaway between Hell Corner and turn number 2. Yeah, he blinked out for quite a bit to the and he's actually blinking out again pretty significantly. So maybe championship not over yet for Bourgeois. Whatever he's doing, he's got the phaser beam set or something.
Did I tell you about the kid jumping?
Listen, maybe he's got we've had either a dog or a cat chew through a cord before to end somebody's race. But anyway, getting back to you, certainly maybe not the race that you wanted to have for the season finale. I mean, you finished ahead of Frank Pisano, so you got that going for you. But not sure that's exactly something you want to hang your hat on for this one.
I might have had something to do with Frank Pisano crashing out, which is great. Yeah. Nicest guy in the world. I got a chance to meet him at the Sim Gaming Expo this past September, and it was incredible. Great dude. Gave us a bottle of Woodford Reserve, and I couldn't take it home with me because I live across the border, so we drank it that night.
Oh, that's a shame. You hate to see that.
Yeah, right. Telford can tell you all about it.
Yes.
It was a good time. But yeah, the best thing about this league are the people, for sure. Like you guys, the people that race, the guys who've been with us season in, season out. There will be people who come and go, but generally speaking, it'll be, it's been just a pleasure to put on. I'm so thrilled to have everybody here.
Well, and like I said, it's never too early to start thinking about and talking about the next season coming up here. I know you guys are always looking for drivers, so if anybody out there wants to hop in to next season, certainly get in here. I know you guys like to run a lot of practices and even some fun off series as well to keep everything entertaining in between the nights and even in between the seasons. I know you probably take a little bit of a break for the holidays, but same thing with sponsors. It's always a help, whether it's $20, whether it's $100, whether it's fully sponsoring the series, whatever it is. Any little bit helps. So how can drivers get in touch with you, whether it's if they want to get out there and drive or whether they want to get out there and sponsor? What's the best way to check everything out here?
So James Austin Dungeon on Facebook, and then Casual Sim Racer League on Discord are the two ways principally to do it. I should come up with more, and I'll be working on that over the off season, or the holidays, because I have some time off, and maybe I can make this thing better, right? So that's the goal.
Well, we'll talk about the holidays now, and any kind of plans for the holidays, whether it's just kind of hanging out with with anybody, friends, family, or whether it's maybe looking for a little gift from Santa under the tree for sim racing or anything like that. Any kind of plans for these holidays coming up?
So I need opinions on things, actually. I have 3 Moza wheels and a Moza R9 right now. I'm looking at a Moza R25, or I'm looking at a big screen beyond VR. One or the other, I'm not sure. That's kind of it for the upgrade as far as plans for holidays. It's mostly just getting together with friends and celebrating. Just the year that has been. It's been a good year here, so why not have a good time? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's definitely been a great year, not just for for the league here, but I mean all in general. I think you guys have been really great here for this season, and you see getting back to I mentioned that the sponsors. I mean for this season you got all different kinds of sponsors on tap. You got Ace Motorsports sponsoring the fastest lap. You got the Chris Brellhard Charger Award. You got Digital Sim Sports sponsoring the the moment of the race from the race before. Just a ton of new ones jumping aboard on top of 40 Racewear, Martin PC, constantly out there with you guys and helping every season.
I would like to see the Fast Repair sponsored if I could. I think that would be fun. But like I don't know
maybe
if
an extra Fast Repair sponsored here for you here tonight in particular.
yeah. So I could have used a few for sure. But yeah, looks like Craig is about to finish the race. You got.
Coming down to the chase here on the final lap, and he's going to stay connected enough here for these final corners, hopefully to get it done. He definitely blinked out a few times, and has some heart drop moments, at least on my end. But looks like the 88 is going to be your champion here once again. Jim, we'll let you go. We'll let you celebrate, get everything, all your ducks in a row. I know we're certainly going to be looking forward to next season here for CSRL. But enjoy the holidays, enjoy the time off, and we'll be speaking to you again soon.
You too. Thanks again.
That is Jim Herrick, the man behind CSRL here. As you see, the man on top of CSRL here once again. That is Craig Jancic getting it done here tonight. Looks like it's going to be about a 26-second win for Jancic, as he's going to get it over Nor Bourgeois, who had to come in and make that splash and go pit stop. He's going to come home in second. Not going to be enough. And you see maybe his frustration on that right there at the end of this thing. Justin Flagg coming down the backstretch here, looking to grab a third place here tonight. I'm surprised that Dave Topher wasn't able to turn in the times to get him up there into the top 5. Looks like he's going to have to settle for 6th position here tonight. But Justin Flagg going to come home with the podium position here in 3rd, coming through the final corner right now. They got Jason Phillips going through Forest Elbow. He is in 4th place. Top runner here in the gold class, and has been all night here tonight, is the 99 of Herbert Pineda. He came in, he made his final pit stop on lap number 44, just like Craig Jancic. And he is going to be able to run. Actually, I'm sorry, he came in for a splash and go as well on lap number 52. Is Tilford behind him that came in on lap 44. But Pineda is going to finish not only with a gold class win here tonight, but a top 5 overall. So again, another driver you may very well see in the platinum class come next season. The silver class are all completed here tonight already. Alain Below gets the class win here in the silver by a pretty substantial margin here, as Jim Herrick now finally coming through the final corners here. Yeah, he just crosses the line. About 1 minute 20 seconds is the distance for the win here tonight for Alain Below. But Craig Jancic is the one on top of the boards. While we get everybody in here for their interviews, Jimmy, why don't you give us a full rundown on tonight's results now that we can finally hear you again?
Yeah, it was laryngitis from Carl.
Self-imposed. Looks like we still got a few finishing up here, so may not have the results just yet.
Well, I'm glad everybody missed me, but I'm back. We're out here. The results are in for the race here, and they are as follows. Craig Jancic obviously being your overall winner here over Noah Bourgeois. And then you had Justin Flagg, Jason Phillips, and Herbert Pineda for your top 5. Dave Tilford, Christian Ortiz, Torres, Cesar Colon Torres, Kyle Kobler, and Brandon Potts for your top 10. Alain Below, Christopher Reagan, Glenn Lazon, Jim Herrick, Bill Burrell for your top 15. John Espada, Devin Young, Ethan McCracken. 19th will be Autumn McLean and Bryce Reiner for your top 20, and then they're rounding out the rest of the field: Paul Bailey, Jim Dutton, and Frank Bassano. And as you heard from Jim Dutton, hopefully Carl had us unmuted then, that having enough drivers and 23 drivers out here for 2 hours is quite a bit of time, and you don't sit down and I mean, it's like like the length of a movie. You sit down here, but you can't get out of the car. You're stuck. So no potty breaks. You might be able to get a sip of water. Maybe you get a Camelback or something fancier like that hooked up near to your rig, so you get a sip of water here and there. But it's definitely challenging. It can be a lot of fatigue, and you could see how easy it was today to spin around and kind of get Austin, we call it Austin powered, where you can't really make a move without blocking the roadway and then somebody come down and T-boning you. And everybody's flying down the mountain typically or up over the hill. So a lot of drivers towing out tonight. So I don't know, could have been direction by the admins, obviously, to tow. There's very few spots, but you really want to get that car turned around if possible. There's a couple ways of doing it, but you got to practice that. Spin around in those spots and try to see how long it would take. So it takes looking at your relative, how long is it going to take to get turned around and get going again, so you don't ruin somebody else's race. But heads up to all the drivers that were able to avoid those things, and apologize for anybody that got into those things and had a rough night. But everybody did a fantastic job. It was a great race to watch. I did enjoy my conversation with Carl, even though you guys didn't hear it.
Absolutely, as we always do. Well, I want to thank once again the sponsors here for the season: Digital Sim Sports, Sim Racing, Speed Hub, Ace Motorsports, and then want to thank 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. For Modern PC, they're focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. I want to thank Chris Burrell for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award as well, which is going to go to Glenn Lazan here tonight, up 10 spots again after starting a shotgun on the field, finishes up there in 13th. So we'll get our top drivers here in each of the classes, and looks like we're going to pull Glenn Lazan in here first. We'll go with the Sandbagger first here, and Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take him here tonight? It's going to be the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner tonight, the 69 of Glenn Lazan.
Hey, Glenn, Jimmy Carlton, the boot, you copy?
Hey, guys.
I mean, if you want to sandbag and have a good race, this is one place to do it. But obviously, biggest mover, we've kind of nicknamed it sandbag because typically it was somebody making a mistake on their qualifying. But you had an hour tonight to qualify, so hopefully you got the start, or just couldn't quite put it together then, but able to put it all together during the race. So just want to say congratulations, man, and get a little bit of how your race was after 2 hours.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's definitely qualifying was in shambles. I think I joined the server at like 7:30, and I had 2 chances to set a lap, and I screwed it up both times. But my speed isn't that great here anyway, so I probably wouldn't have helped me out if I qualified that well. So, but yeah, just lap 1, avoided a few incidents, and then most of the race I kept out of the wall. I did have to end up using both fast repairs, but I made it cleanly for the most part. And then I think sometime before the last pit stop, I crashed, and I was able to nurse it back to the pits, use the fast repair, didn't lose a whole lot of time. And then everything else is fairly smooth sailing until the last 5 minutes, and then I crashed again. But I had enough of a gap where I only lost 2 spots, so all in all, can't complain. I survived mostly.
If you're running these races like me and Carl have, obviously out here on the endurance end of things, and have our fair share of laps around this wretched place, I've had some unique instances, 21 pile, or I should say 21 meatballs on lap number 1 at the top of the hill, because one wreck happens up front. It was just nowhere for anybody to go, and everybody wants to go somewhere. That was probably the funniest start of a 12-hour event that I've ever had. But yeah, it's a challenging track, and to make up that amount of time, obviously, like you said, you got in a little bit late, didn't quite get the qualifying you wanted, and were able to kind of string things together to get to some really good places. Obviously, a couple gimmies as people have struggled early on, but overall, I think you did a fantastic job. I want to say congratulations, give you some time for any shouts you might have in that vehicle.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll just shout out everybody in the league. This was definitely a fun season overall. I think I only missed one race this season. So pretty good attendance across the board for everybody throughout the season. So, looking forward to the next season.
Well, we look forward to having you back out here. So enjoy your holiday season, and wish you all, you and your family, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we'll see you when you guys get back, and we'll let you go celebrate.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Is your Chris Burrell Sandbagger R Charger Award winner here for tonight, up 10 spots. Glenn Lazan and the number 69 finishing in 13th. Top driver here finished 2 spots ahead of him, finished 11th place overall, but more importantly, finished in the top spot here in the class, Alain below. And Alain, I got to say, it seemed like the silver class was up for grabs between about 3, 4, 5 guys here tonight. And finally, you end up grabbing control of it and ended up winning it by a pretty easy margin. But this track is not exactly easy to tame.
No, not at all. Had a pretty nasty one in the first lap, and then just a recovery drive for the rest, I guess.
So, I mean, is this track, I would assume this is kind of one of those tracks where you get into it and it is, it's driving the track more than necessarily driving against your competitors. You're just really, especially in the mountain section, just trying to survive up there.
Yeah, 100%. Basically just me versus the walls.
Well, you survived here tonight, and you almost get yourself a top 10 as well. So a great drive overall, and you get it home here in 11th place, but top spot here in the silver class. So before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, shout out to the wife, and do shout out to the boys at FMR, and yeah, thanks to you guys out in the booth. Thanks to Jim putting on this awesome league, and yeah, hopefully we'll have an awesome season on season 15.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, we'll wait for you in season 15. See how you do there and see if you can put up a fight for the championship there in class. But take some time off and enjoy the holidays. We'll see you back here for season 15.
Right on, man. Thanks, Carl.
That is your silver class winner here tonight, the 509 of Alain Below, finishing in 11th place overall. Good run here for him. Top spot in the gold class is going to go to the 99 of Herbert Pineda, finishing 5th place overall.
Hey, Herbert, Jimmy, and Carl up in the boot. You got me.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, not bad. Just glad that we were able to finally get to talk to some drivers after that 2 hours. I know how stressful things can be out there. As people driving sideways, spinning around, having a good old time for with your bestest friends ever in the world. That you get frustrated at, and then
AKA walls,
later, right?
AKA walls, kissing walls, praying for the walls, everything walls.
It's definitely one of those tracks that gives its challenges, but you're able to get a great finish out here tonight. So we wanted to kind of get your side of the story, how everything went for you for the last 2 hours.
It was okay. I mean, I got pretty lucky at the very beginning. I mean, Kubler, I think he already wrapped up the championship, so he wasn't fighting too much, especially in the first lap. So I was just able to pass and then just chill for the rest of the time. I mean, I did have a little bit of a battle with Jason, and which it was kind of fun. I think I held him back a little bit, but I mean, once he pitted before me, then he was gone. So it was good what it lasted, though.
I mean, with this season done, obviously, again, having a pretty decent run throughout next year. So what's your expectations for the beginning of next year? Obviously, you got some holidays, you get some chill time. You're going to continue to practice. You're excited for the upcoming season?
Well, first of all, I got to remodel the sim room. I got to make some changes here. But, so I'll be taking everything apart and redoing everything, but not much practicing for the next few weeks, but looking forward for next season and see what we can do. Hopefully I won't get promoted and stay where I'm at, so I can have some more fun. I don't know who I have to bribe, but I'll find out.
We'll find out quick, because those seasons seem to turn around pretty quickly. Maybe somebody can give you an early Christmas present and not promote you.
Right. Yeah, I'll be sending Santa their way. So I need names. So,
go out there and slash some tires.
Right. Since you guys are in the inner circle, maybe what are we talking about here? What you'll need. I got it.
We'll send PayPal and Venmo, account numbers to you.
As far as cash, I don't know, but I know a guy who knows the guy.
Hey, you gotta drive the most obscure car, and I'll make sure I take 5% out of everybody else's and give you 5% more. So,
well, first of all, I'll send you a postal with me and a Speedo.
There we go.
There you go.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
That'll make it wonderful for you.
Again, it was a great getting you up here and getting a chance to talk to you. But before we let you get out of here, we'll give you a chance to give it any shout outs on that car that you had tonight.
Shout out to my wife. I mean, for putting up with my craziness and my hobby, without her leaving me alone doing my thing, this wouldn't be possible. Shout out to all the boys over at Ace Motorsports. I know we missed a couple tonight, but I know they're watching, so shout out to all the guys. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody's got a safe holiday and New Year's, and we'll be seeing you next season. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and thanks to the guys over at all the admins, CSRL, the owner, Jim, Craig, all those guys. We'll be seeing you soon.
Again, I appreciate the shout outs as always. Again, congratulations on the great run, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Just picture me on a Speedo. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks. I'm not sleeping ever.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks.
Christmas came early to everybody here tonight, right there for the 99 of Herbert Pineda coming home in 5th place overall and winning the gold class here tonight. But the top man here, not just for tonight, but for the season, is going to be the 88 of Craig Jancic. Craig, you had a different strategy that not too many other drivers had here tonight, and that wasn't necessarily just getting to the front and running away and getting this thing done. It was fuel saving here, and it seemed like that certainly really paid off here. I mean, being out in front helped, and you certainly had some battles there. We'll just put it that way with Noah for this race, but the fuel strategy played out to a T.
The fuel strategy played out more than perfectly. An unbelievable prediction from very early in this race, talking with Bryce and Justin Flagg, who shout out to him. I'm glad he's able to join us here, and it seems like he's got a lot to offer, so it's going to be awesome if he can get a full season log next year. But we saw pretty quick what that total refuel number was looking like, and it was really divisible by 14 pretty early on, and 14 is what our refuel gallons were in this lovely Aston Martin Vantage, and it was pretty executable early on to get to 42 total and then keep it under 28 total. Took tires at the halfway mark, which I told the guys, I'll lose something a different way. I would hate to lose the same way twice by not taking tires here. And tires was the right call, because honestly, at the end of this race, I was losing the fronts just a little bit as well. Just from trying to, at the end, just push so hard. Once I realized that I had the number that I needed, I was just trying to burn it down to be as close as I can. And it really just played out perfectly. Got to apologize as well. When I kind of just talked real quick here, and we both agreed that we could have both done a little bit better with that lap 4 incident that was resulting in him going around. He did launch it on the curb and drive it straight into me, and he said, if he had a little bit better of a landing angle, that would have never happened. But if I gave him a little bit more of an opportunity to not have to be on the curb, it probably wouldn't have happened either. So I do hate that happened. I know that he had his other mishaps as well, and he was not able to save the fuel necessary to keep it at 3 stops. But regardless, I mean, you don't want to have any drama involved in the championship race, and for a few laps there, it was hard to bury that guilt. for just a little bit. I played it back in my head 1,000 times real quick, right as soon as it happened, and could kind of, I kind of felt immediately that we both could have done it a little differently, and it was nice that we agreed. So no real harm done there. I know he's beating himself up right now for sure. But he's got so much to offer in terms of talent, speed, just raw, consistent speed. Everywhere we go, every type of track, every car he jumps in, he's got something for it. It seems so. Kudos to him. It's been so fun to battle this season, but it was amazing to get this one done. And real quick, I need to goodwill shout out Xfinity Comcast Internet for hanging on for 3 extra seconds.
Barely, yes.
I mean, what are we doing out here, man? I know it snowed here today, and that's not always happening, but why are you playing with my heart like that?
Just on the last couple laps, no biggie. Yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I mean, talk to us. Obviously, now you kind of reflect on the entire season here as well, and we've seen you in battles. I mean, we've seen you lose the championship last season to Mason Smith, but you can kind of look back and you see your battles with Mason Smith, your battles with Chris Hamilton. All three of you were kind of on the same pace, and even Bryce Reiner you can mix in there as well. You guys are kind of like on the same pace. This year, it felt a little different. It felt like this was kind of the first time where we've seen a driver that was a little bit faster than you on some of these tracks. And had it not been for incidents that maybe he brought on by himself, or just got caught up in somebody else's issues, might have been a different story here coming into the season finale or even for the championship. But does that put any kind of different thoughts in you for season 15? Is there anything else that you can do to maybe try and figure out, why was I just a little bit slower than him on this track or that track, or was it just he had it there and I didn't?
It's not something I'm going to settle for to say that he had it there and I didn't. Yes, that happened many times this season. I'm looking at it. I got the schedule up here. I mean, Red Bull Ring, you just pounded us into the ground. Mexico, same story. Barcelona, that was my turn to pound everybody into the ground there. I think I ended up with a double-digit second win there, so that felt good. But I was reminded at Indy that he's got that place dialed in, and then we had some great battles. I believe Hockenheim was a great battle. Sebring, he had that last lap pass. I mean, it's something that I'm gonna have. I have no choice but to dig a little bit deeper now. It's great to reclaim the throne here after Mason had taken it, and I hope that this upcoming season, we're able to get full seasons registered from Mason. We're able to get full seasons registered from Noah and Bryce and Hamilton and all these guys, as many as possible, to get up front. Like I said earlier, Justin, just his second race with us, he's got some real pace in there too. So it's not something that I can just rest on the laurels here and feel okay with. I've got to dig deeper here for season 15 and onward, because there was some strategy and some good skill employed, but there was some redemptions in the luck bank that aren't always going to be there for us, and we can't rely on that. We're going to have to push things forward for 15.
Well, it's kind of funny because you didn't maybe race as hard as you could have here for this whole race with the the fuel strategy in mind, and just trying to make sure you can stretch it out and get to the to those numbers for the entire race. But it's still a 2-hour race, and you can tell by your voice that it's a little bit fatigue. It's a little bit finally I can breathe. Finally the race is over. Finally the championship's over. It feels like you're still kind of letting that weight off your shoulder.
To an absolute extent, yeah, and some of the vocal stuff is also fighting off a sinus infection that I picked up over this last weekend. So that was also, I guess, an obstacle that we had to take down here to the what do we call it down here? Down under. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, no, I mean, I am totally wiped from this. It's nearly triple the duration of our regular races, and it feels like it takes triple out of you just the same way, especially when this is without a doubt the hardest race track of this season, and certainly of all of the 2-hour endurance events that we've done so far. So when you pile all that together, it's going to result in a need for a shower, and we've already got a Busch Light apple going down the drain here tonight for our celebrations, and it was exhausting but rewarding, and I can't wait to see what we cook up with for season 15 schedule wise and endurance race wise too.
Well, if you're looking for if you didn't have enough of the 2 hours here and you want to hop in for the final race of the Core GT in 2 weeks, this week they're at Watkins Glen with the 2-hour season finale at Silverstone. So feel free to hop in there for a one-off free race if you're not done with 2 hours when it comes to the race distance. But I'm sure you probably need about 2 weeks to recover after this one. But either way, you get it done here tonight. You get it done for the season. You're back on top. You're back at the champion here once again, and get to celebrate Christmas a little bit earlier here, and really get to go in on a high for season 15. But before we let you go here, one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, major emphasis. Just want to say happy holidays, not just to you guys, Core Racing Network, but all the viewers out there and all the competitors. Happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate, whoever you celebrate it with, and whatever fashion you do. Make sure you just tell your loved ones that you love them a little extra this time of year. It means a lot more, and it's something that people should be taking advantage of, especially this time of year. So. Happy holidays to everybody out there, but major thanks for another amazing season here, season 14, to you guys at Core Racing Network, Carl, Jimmy, Tilford, everybody in the background there. Thank you. You guys rock. Not only are you great, broadcasters and people to work with from the enterprise standpoint of this, but you're great damn people to chill with too. So thanks you both. Thanks Tilford, everybody. Martin PC, Digital Sim Sports. Thanks to everybody that we've got in the background there. Lots of fun, exciting things going on there as we change into 2026 with respect to looking at the endurance racing calendar for the upcoming season 2. So that should be very fun in total. Major thanks to everybody that supports me in my family and my loved ones as well. Mom, Dad, thanks for putting up with all of this. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate all you do for me for 29 3/4 years. Thank you. Thanks to my girlfriend, Anna. What an amazing human. I'm so lucky to have you in my corner. Thank you. Aunt Sandy, you're the best. Uncle Lee, you are also the best. Happy birthday to Chris. I believe his birthday is tomorrow. Shout out to him for watching when he can. His championships, it's got my name on it, but it's for all you too. So, that's a great wrap on another great year here at CSRL, and I can't wait to see what 2026 has in store with you guys.
Absolutely, and we can't wait as well, and certainly looking forward to it. But take some time, enjoy this one, as I know this was one of your most hard-fought ones. It seems like every year it gets harder and harder for you, which is a good thing. Gives us something to talk about for sure. But take some time, celebrate this one, enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you in 2026 for season 15.
That's the spirit. Have a good one, boys. Take care.
You too, buddy. That's your champion here for the Platinum class overall, and the winner here tonight, the 88 of Craig Jancic. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here. Once again, if you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we still got some racing left in this week. We got tomorrow, the season finale for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, as they'll wrap up their Xfinity Series at the beautiful Michigan. So I'm looking forward to that one, and I know Jimmy is as well. And we also got the Core GT Series running with the doubleheader as they're at Watkins Glen for tomorrow night. But for myself and Jimmy for CSRL here at the Mt Panorama, also known as Bathurst, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.